That's right. I remember thinking.
Suicidal in movies.
Let's be real. We're not remembering much of anything.
Yeah,
you
not
know?
really.
I do remember the Lizzo song.
Yeah.
That stands out.
How'd that one go again, guys?
Be great. Do you think Lizzo was talking about us on this podcast?
She absolutely was.
That's fine.
She probably paraphrased as well.
Probably.
A lot.
Was that between sexually assaulting with answers?
Yeah.
Yeah. More of that for
More
later.
backup dancers.
Yeah. Clapstick. Welcome to another episode of the F Movie Podcast. What's our subscriber count? Is it 69 yet? I don't know.
Yeah, we're probably above that.
It was already 69, wasn't it?
Still.
Ever since
Yeah.
the gals got on, I think we're through the hundreds.
Hell yeah.
Oh shit!
Are we really?
We are
Don't
not.
Not a single one of those have been posted.
No.
You
Right.
gotta
It was
start
just
going
a
up.
knowing that we're there.
Yeah.
Now you
Yeah.
gotta start going up, so as soon as our videos post, it'll go back down.
That's
Oh,
that
no.
may be right.
No.
We're so back,
We
boys
gotta
and
ride
girls.
that wave, you know.
Yeah, we gotta ride that. The wave.
Kimi.
Yeah.
That's a throwback.
We're
One time.
a little discombobulated. It's been a second. You guys may not know this because we upload, perfectly. But it's been a second since we've had to do this. Jill, what movie are we doing?
We're reviewing a movie called Someone Great
Uh-huh.
on Netflix.
Starring?
People.
All right.
People.
No,
RuPaul.
RuPaul's in here. He's
RuPaul's in there.
Drug
for
dealer.
sure.
Couldn't name a single person in this movie.
Gina Rodriguez.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Gina Rodriguez
She the main
stars.
girl?
Yeah.
And
Kino.
Lee Keith.
Who's the main one?
Shepard.
Who's the blonde?
Shepard is in Get Out.
Who is
Don't know
it?
his name.
Brittany Snow.
No,
Brittany. I was like Brittany.
Brittany Snow.
Brittany Snow.
Brittany
And
Snow.
also-
Okay. Gina Rodriguez. Brittany Snow.
The guy that's in Atlanta as well.
Somebody
Yeah.
else.
And Get Out.
Some more people.
Oh, the fuck boy
Lakeith.
guy. Oh, no, you're
Lakeith
talking about the main guy.
Stanfield?
Lakeith something.
Is that his name?
No.
You guys know so many actors' names.
We do. We watch movies and you just see enough
Sometimes.
credits.
Nathan, name an actor.
DeVito.
Just any actor.
Yeah.
Just name an
His head
actor.
just explodes. Well, that's it for today.
That's it. Nathan's brain just exploded.
Anyways, all full heads exploding.
I'm
What's
still just trying to piece together what it was that we watched. It's been weeks ago.
It has been
it
way-
really
yeah.
wasn't that hard to follow.
You say we watched a
Well,
movie about a girl.
we
who,
watched-
I won't just
Oh,
give a
oh,
summary
it's
of the movie.
Jill's about to
No,
summarize
no,
the
that's-
movie.
that's
the
the whole
men need to
extent.
talk.
Wait, I have a very amateur question.
Yeah.
But let's settle this once and for all.
Sure.
Do we look into the camera on this podcast?
Yes.
Never.
I don't usually.
Okay.
Wait, have you done it once already?
Have
So
you
we're
not?
looking
Redo
into
it.
the camera
Uh-oh.
on this
God.
podcast.
I mean,
We're not looking at each other.
I kind of do. I feel like a lot of people don't. There's a whole lot of like talking in the direction of a person
Yeah.
instead of
yeah.
in the direction of a camera.
Okay.
And I fought that fight for a little while.
Yeah.
And I gave up.
You'd think after 200 episodes we would have ironed that out.
No,
I
The women come on and start asking the real questions.
I've always looked at the camera unless there's a direct line of conversation. If
Right.
if I'm like, you gotta eyeball baton pass it, so to speak.
Or what if we just all look at the camera and then never make eye contact?
If we could all look at the camera and just never blink, that
Oh,
would be
okay.
ideal.
Yeah.
I think the ratings will go up. Anyway, so what's this movie about, by the way, Jill?
Nathan, need to say something. What do you need to say?
Jill, don't let him.
I know in 200
Same
episodes
thing.
we never let Nathan talk.
Never. He comes in at the end and surprises us with his score.
Yeah.
That's what Nathan does.
That's it.
What's the review?
So you're
Or
gonna
what's
surprise us with a 10, right?
the button is right
Hey.
behind you, so.
Yeah, we might need to get
easy
that
release.
out.
We're gonna
Can
need
we?
this.
Here is it. Hold on. Is it on? I never know. Okay, tell us about
the
the.
record.
So this movie is about a girl who's just recently broken up with her boyfriend, and she essentially has one last hurrah because she's about to leave and go across the country for her job.
Uh-huh.
Gonna have a last hurrah with her friends doing a concert thing that they used to do when they were younger, but also she wants to go see her boyfriend again because it's all about that whole not being with someone anymore, missing them, thinking about them, and the whole resolution of that feeling.
I've got thoughts about that resolution, or maybe lack thereof, but let's start like kind of chronologically speaking.
Do you remember chronologically what happens in this movie?
Sure don't.
I sure do. I do
Uh,
feel like
It
I
opens on a
watched
train
this.
platform with her crying.
oh, that's right. She's talking to that one
The
New
woman.
York girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And she's being
talking
a
to
total
her.
sis about this whole thing, you know.
Yeah.
She's
Until
hearing
she
her out.
doesn't care
And she's like,
anymore.
I just don't fucking give a shit
Leaves.
anymore. Yeah. which I actually thought was a pretty good opening, all things considered. That seems like a New York thing to do. Just be like, oh my god, girl, I can't believe it. I'm fucking sick of
And
this.
the point too is one of them's like, "Why aren't we best friends?" He's like, "Girl, I don't know."
Yeah.
And then she like immediately just leaves. It's
Right.
Like, oh, okay. Mm.
We don't do this to enough strangers. I think we should. But I don't know. I feel like that seems like it's usually like shot downtown here. You
I
know
don't
what I
want
mean?
to connect with anyone that rides the bus.
I don't think you want to connect.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
That-
Hey, you can just stop there.
Yeah.
I don't want to connect.
That's the right vibe, boys. So, she kind of elaborates and explains the breakup, and then immediately goes to find her friends to start effectively just partying the whole movie,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't hate. I won't lie. Like the early on vibes with it are like a low kind of fun. The characters are kind of underbaked at first, but that's what that's why you have a movie to tell everybody's story with it.
Development, yeah.
And I'll say by the end, they only got a little bit more baked. At
They
least
got more baked.
they got more
They
baked.
got a lot more baked.
But they only got a little bit more fleshed out, with
Mm.
Brittany Snow really feeling like she has more to do in this movie than...
Which one's Brittany Snow?
The
The
blonde
blonde.
one.
I liked her.
And
Yeah.
because she is
Except for what
secretly
she did.
seeing this
That
one
sucked.
guy.
Yeah, that
That
was.
was it.
Oh, and her and the fuckboy keep going back and
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah.
Who is obviously the main character of this movie. And frankly, the best one. I'm not even being ironic about it. That guy's fun. He's charming. You want to
No,
hate him.
the
You want to
best-
fuck him.
The best guy was the guy that was just like riding around on like the little Segway thing,
Oh
the
my God.
hoverboard.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That
Okay,
guy
he's
was
great.
so funny.
Easily
Yeah.
the greatest part.
Yeah.
And the greatest character.
Yeah, that was. I think that was the funniest part of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was like, he was just terrible, but
Yeah, you
hilarious.
can. Hey, you can smoke what you want. Oh, about that, my
Yeah.
friend Jamie came over, and then he did take that. But you can take the smoke
Wait,
whenever
listen,
you
you're
want.
gonna laugh about this. This is hilarious.
Yeah.
I had the tickets, and then I didn't have the tickets.
Yeah, him saying that she was about to punch me. He's like, "Hey, whoa, I've got like he's some sort of condition. I forget what it is, but yeah, I forgot about him. He was really fun.
But as far as like the whole breakup thing, you can tell that this group is pretty tight knit. I mean, they're still adults, but they're obviously down to support, which I do feel like that's real in a way.
Yeah,
But
this is definitely like a mid-20s homie move. I mean, like they're like their late 20s because what's her face says that she's about to be
about
30 or
turn
something.
30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in the city, if they're all single, this feels very believable. Like
None of them are single at the start of the movie.
well,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
Yeah,
Good
true.
point.
What's her face
Well,
is not really in the
true.
relationship. One of them is out of a relationship, and one of them is leaving a relationship. Is that on purpose? Probably.
Yeah, one of them just got broken
It
up
just
with.
got out.
One is with a guy that she's definitely gonna break
About
up
to
with,
break up with.
and the other one is getting into a relationship.
I
Right.
think
Yeah,
my
yeah, that's
biggest
what you said,
issue
isn't
though,
it?
it's like if you were to tear this movie apart from the three branches, right? But all three of the girls,
Uh-huh.
they didn't need to have those situations in the relationships. They were literally just like buffed up to where like they were going to have a crisis by the end. Meaning the Brittany Snow's character wasn't quite involved in or was leaving the relationship essentially.
Right.
But they had to like give her a whole through plot of like, oh well, she's actually gonna bang this guy, get the tickets, fall for him after all, and end up with him.
Mhm.
Then they had the other friend who had too many commitment issues. Like they all had to have their own problems.
Right.
And I think that the movie was a little bit duller for it.
Mm.
Because like you said, this is a group of girls who's kind of going through it, but at the same time, growing older. And I don't know.
Wait, so if they didn't have their own relationship
They had to have a
issues,
falling
what
out.
would the plot be? 'Cause that was
Exactly.
kind
All of
the
them had their
plot.
all of them had their
Exactly.
conflicts. Right. Yeah.
But the thing is, Gina Rodriguez.
Uh-huh.
Gina Rodriguez was supposed to be the big thing. That's how we got all the highlights
Yeah.
for. That's who we got. Lakeith Sutherland or Lakeith Sutherland.
Lakeith Sutherland.
I like to
Kiefer
say
Sutherland.
that.
Yeah. Lakeith Sutherland.
Lakeith, whoever he
Lakeith
is.
Sutherland.
Lakeith
Yeah.
Sutherland.
Lakeith, whoever his name is, like it was really supposed to be about their relationship,
Mhm.
but instead they had to have this climax of this falling out with her best friend and this weird cheating scene with Brittany Snow's character. Like I don't know, I just
See, I
felt
disagree.
strange.
Because I think you're saying, like, oh, obviously this is like a rom-com or a love story where these two characters that just broke up and we're getting all these really nice flashbacks of their whole relationship. I think you're saying, like, that's the point of the movie, is their relationship. Whereas I felt like the point of the movie was the friendship with the three girls.
Agreed.
And each of their relationships is like a point of conflict and a point of like their own character development, but the core of the movie is their friendship.
Is the bromance of the girls.
Yeah.
The girl rant. So watch this. Ready?
Okay, ready.
I compare this movie to 500 Days of Summer.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Because that movie also had two best friends. Now, I'm not saying they were even halfway developed.
Mm.
But Joseph Gordon-Levitt's two good friends were there the entire time. Like, throughout the movie, they kept popping in and out. They kept, slinging jokes, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was entirely not about them.
Right.
It was only about
Tom and
Zoe
Summer.
Deschanel. Yeah. And I just, I couldn't not compare this movie to that along the way, along with Nick and Nora. I think Nick and Nora is also a very, very good example. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen that one, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is the exact same as this. They go on a journey through the city, and they, guess what, have a destination at the end of the night, but they have to be there by midnight.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what, they encounter so many things along the way. But it's the same thing. It's about Nick and Nora.
Right.
It's not about
So you're talking
Nora's
about two
friends.
very different movies that are similar.
I
but
just-
one is about the relationship and one is about
If you say this
A
is about the
friendship.
friendship, I think this movie is highly about the relationship.
I think this movie is one about friendship and two about dealing with not having a relationship anymore. Those are the two themes of this movie to me.
So,
What about the friendship?
She said friendship.
That's the first
Oh, I thought you
thing
said the relationship and then not having
No,
to deal with the
friendship.
relationship. Okay.
I think for what it's worth, like, themes aside, where I find that the movie probably, at least I found, had the most fun with it was definitely not in the relationship flashbacks, although Gina being cheeked
Boy,
out.
did they try, though.
Yeah, I mean, she was cheeked out for like 2 or 3 of those flashbacks, so I'm fine with that.
To me, it feels like her guy was like very flat. Like, we aren't supposed to care about him.
Right.
We're not supposed to
We
care
like
about
him
the
because he's
relationship.
attractive.
We're
And
supposed to care about her viewpoint of their relationship, not about
Right.
him as a person.
I think where I get, like, I mean, I get where I get the enjoyment out of the film on this one is where honestly, where it's on the friendship track and it feels kind of like a little bit like The Hangover a bit.
Right.
Yeah. There's some like party house vibes to this one. Like,
Yeah.
I remember thinking when we're seeing the eccentric character, like side characters, that's when I'm typically having the most fun with the movie. Like, again,
The
what's
guy
his
that's
face?
on
Yeah.
the hoverboard.
Hoverboard
the
guy.
RuPaul or something, I guess.
Yeah, the RuPaul drug dealer one was like really all the little side events were more fun.
Mhm.
Even when Brittany Snow goes off to go hook up with like the fuckboy character who peak, like off on the side with him, I typically found it more fun than whenever they're all three together because I just don't know. I don't know.
They didn't click for me. I mean, I'm not saying like they weren't good friends.
Only a couple scenes
I don't know.
early on and a couple of like the little early banters felt like it was like pretty fun. The Lizzo scene. All right, we gotta talk about the Lizzo scene real quick.
Yeah, whenever she's like dancing, putting
Yeah,
groceries away.
all 3 of them are doing it and they're all vibing. And I don't know, man. This is one of those montage songs that immediately I was just like, I feel the age.
The
of this film
montage
already.
of them getting ready was like probably the best point in the whole movie.
That was fun. Yeah,
and that was a different song. I can't
It was a
remember which
different song, yeah.
It was good.
But the time where it just came in with that like, and maybe there's a bias here, I won't lie. It came in with that immediate "fuck you, man" energy or "fuck you, guys" energy. Let's play Lizzo.
Which you feel when you've just broken up with a guy.
For sure, but for me, it
What
was
about
more
when
about
you're in a commitment relationship issue along with a relationship that you also want to
That's
get
true.
out of? Does it match
Yeah,
those
no,
vibes
I
too?
feel like it does match those
Because
vibes.
remember, the
It
movie
matches
really
the vibe
wants
of,
you to
oh,
have
your
all
friend just
3
broke up with a
things.
guy, you're gonna hate all guys for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Also, any movie that has like the song is playing, but in the movie the characters are singing along. To
I don't
the
like
song.
their awareness
That
of the,
just
yeah.
always makes
Breaking
me
the
very
third wall.
happy in a movie.
Or
I'm
the
just
fourth
like,
wall.
yeah.
See, I was on the other end of it. And maybe just because all that really not great stuff came out about Lizzo, but more importantly for the song, it was a big thing for me where I was just like, I don't know, like a nice soundtrack or slow background tracks or something are good. But there's something about in rom-com movies in specific where they have montages where the song is front and center in its music video.
Yeah.
I'm like, it just aged the film for me in a really like, I remember thinking, ugh, immediately as soon as it hit, and I was just like, this.
Kind of the same way you feel when you get what is it, Fallout Boy in
Yeah.
Hero 6.
I felt the same way about Fall Out
The
Boy with
second
it.
time.
Yeah.
The second time.
Very-
exactly. The
Not the
first
first
time you're like,
time.
oh, cool.
Very
And then
rarely-
the second time you're like, oh, okay, there's
really-
Fall Out Boy.
I find that very rarely does a song sit there and make me feel like it escalates the film in the middle of it. Every now and again it'll hit. Like, the Screaming Boston song from The Departed.
What about like Baby Driver?
Baby Driver's a good example. Okay, so that's the
Songs
difference,
that
right?
pump up
When a whole movie has a soundtrack that's built around it,
Sure.
that's
a
different.
little different.
Yeah,
But
so-
yeah, like to have
These are
one that
pop
just
songs.
comes in
Right.
as like a one-off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for a montage.
It feels
Okay.
cheap when it's a one-off for the movie. There's not a
Yeah.
soundtrack through line, and it's just like we wanted to cash in on how popular the song was.
I don't know. It was a great song, and I do feel like thematically it fits because that's absolutely what you would do when you've just broken up with your boyfriend and your friends are there and you're like jamming out to
Yeah.
Lizzo.
Yeah, I don't disagree with
You're
that.
vibing. Yeah.
Also, it just reminded me of the Lizzo song scene in Renfield, and that's another great cinematic use of Lizzo.
I forgot about that.
Can you guys do a whole episode on your guys' a separate podcast about good uses of Lizzo in cinema?
Yes.
Can,
Yeah, it's a
On our
really good
Disney
time to do
podcast?
that.
On our,
Yeah.
on our Disney podcast
Yeah.
that no longer exists.
It exists. It's just not in continuation.
Yet.
It's a
So
long hiatus.
right. So let's talk about the nudity in this film. There wasn't much, but there was some good butt
Not
shots.
enough dong for you.
Not enough dong. I
a
mean,
lot of dark scenes, you
a-
know.
a lot of dark
There was
scenes.
no light in it. You know?
yeah, homie in the shower. They could have packed that one in. They were already at R rated at that point, so I don't see why they cut it. Even the fuckboy guy, he could have just not even had pants on. You know, like
Oh yeah. No
I
one
just-
knows who he is.
yeah,
Drop those shorts.
they were banging at like effectively
in
play
the freaking,
play
yeah, in
bathroom.
play.
That's what it felt like.
That's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah, I don't know. Brittany Snow's fun though. She goes through her villainous arc, and I'm like here for
It's
that.
a shame because I really
Yeah.
like her character, and then she cheats on her guy, and I'm like, oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, well,
But I
that's
still like
part of
her.
being the villain arc, you know.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sucks.
Well, and then they tried to save it with the whole like,
The
I'm
breakup
gonna
interview.
break up with you. Like I'm just
Yeah.
not happy, and he was like, oh thank God. And then you're
Yeah.
supposed to feel good about it.
Yeah,
It's
she's like, oh, she's not so terrible.
Yeah.
Listen, he was out too, but she did cheat. That's fucked up though.
Yeah.
Nathan, how did you feel about any of these characters?
literally any of them.
Any of
You
them.
could pick your
You
poison.
know, I figured I would just keep quiet till the.
No.
and then, then give it a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, this whole movie feels like these people are the complete opposite end of life to me.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't
Not
relate to
relatable.
them in any way. I don't really like any of them. I don't like any of the things they're doing, any of their interests. I feel like they wasted their entire day. Like, everything
Good
about
point.
this
Yeah.
movie, I was just like, ugh. Like, I would have nothing to do with these people if I ever ran into them in real life.
And let me
I
ask
don't
you.
care what they're doing. I think it's all a big waste of time.
Mm.
So did you feel like gratification, I guess, whenever they finally made it to their end of their journey?
No.
Which happened to be what exactly?
I didn't
Like a rave?
care about where they were going either.
Well, to
Like,
me it was a whole
nothing about
mystery.
what they did mattered to me at any point. I like all the drug use and stuff. Like nothing about their life meshes with me in any way.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like I can really almost not relate in any way to this movie.
They live in the city, you live in the woods, you know? Like, they're just two different people.
Yeah, this is just like, I mean, obviously it's not my movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like,
Well, imagine like you got word that, you know, this morning that, you know, there was like a World of Warcraft event like clear across town, but you had to get tickets to it, and then like you had to wrangle me and Dylan up, and
Yeah.
then maybe Jill and Annabeth.
Maybe you'll
and-
get some Mountain Dew on the way.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
if it's Nathan, we have to.
Yeah.
But
So
we'd
we
have to
just-
get that. But we'd have to get that spicy Mountain Dew, you know?
Ew.
Yeah.
We just make this
Oh,
movie
the hot
over, but
fries?
like with boys in the suburbs
Yeah.
instead of girls in the city.
Girls in the
Yeah, the
city.
girls-
Did you
yeah.
watch the movie called Kings of Summer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
True,
True,
like,
true.
we
Yeah,
already
going
saw
to
that
the
it was
We'd
Kings
have
of Summer.
we'd have a
That's
Kings
what
of Leon
boys
song in it too.
Yeah, I understand that much
Yeah.
more.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Building a cabin in the woods makes way more sense.
Yeah.
I'm not
Let's
seeing
do that.
I'm
I
not
want to
s-
do that.
I'm not seeing the difference between these two movies. But Jill and Annabeth, are you? They're the same thing to me.
They're very similar.
They're
Yeah.
pretty much the same.
There wasn't as much Lizzo in the other one though.
You know, what's his face?
I will say the montage in Kings of Summer was a lot better.
Yeah, yeah.
Good montage.
What's his face gets bit by a snake.
Yeah.
Brittany Snow eats
Is a
all of
snake.
his snake. You
No.
know, swallows
God.
a snake. You know, these are the same films. They're just beat for beat. But I want to get to kind of cover the tail end of it because it's pretty much just hijinks ensues for like the middle part, and then they're at the concert. And the only moment that I remember feeling like, all right, and not necessarily like an emotional attachment, but just kind of like I get that vibe, It was whenever she sees her ex at the
Mhm.
concert,
Mhm.
and it's, the filter's all different. It's in the blue color tone, and then they
Mhm.
don't really even interact or say anything. They just kind of like, they notice each other, and then he's like, fucks off, right? And then she's just like, what do I do? Do I say something? Do I not say something? Do I that? And I'm like, that's the only time where I felt like, I'm like, yeah, I've been in that situation. And you're kind of just like, oh, God. The whole vibe of everything I was
But
doing.
she knew he was gonna
She
do
did,
it.
Not
right.
only her,
Right.
but
It
right.
was like building
Her
to that, and
friends.
it's
Yes,
kind
her
of-
friends knew as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
they
They
said
took
no
her
first.
anyway.
right.
It was revealed later that the real reason she wants to go there.
Yeah,
Right.
and then they
It's
were
to see
like,
him.
"Don't," but she did anyway because
Yeah.
who listens to their friends'
That's
advice?
very realistic.
That's very real.
I like that scene
I
in
feel
a
that, but-
bubble, but by the time we're getting to the end where she's supposed to be having this like cathartic moment where she's like, oh, I know where I can go, and then she's just like passed out on the fountain or whatever.
Yeah,
It doesn't really feel, I don't know, for me,
it's like a little anticlimactic.
yeah, it doesn't feel like we get much of anywhere. I'm like, okay, so not only do you not interact with them at all, which, I mean, at least is, like, organic, and, like, that's a more human moment. If they have moments together to, like, resolve at the end, that's more Hollywood. I do appreciate its ability to lean back and say, I don't want to have, like, a Hollywood where they're having a should-they moment at the end again. She just was by herself,
Mhm.
like,
Well,
sleeping
she
and
was, like, I
processing.
liked the whole, she gets to imagine this whole scene where she's talking to him.
Right.
But actually she was
Yes.
passed out and her friends show up. And that's the end of the movie is, like, them joking about how they're still going to talk and, like, talk on the toilet on
Right.
their phones while they're living across the country. from
Also,
each other.
That was also probably the only time where the writers flexed their creative muscles this much.
Yeah.
In this
I would
very,
agree.
very
Yeah,
formulaic.
that was this whole movie. That and like I feel like RuPaul's whole that scene,
Mhm.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that flowed really well. But
Yeah.
those are the really only two standout scenes that actually seemed like thoughtful.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
So at the end of the resolution of it all just felt kind of flat to me. I mean, I like that it didn't feel predictable, but it didn't also feel like they had anything else cool to do, so they were just like, oh, she meets up with the girls, and they just kind of like keep on living. That's just it. Sometimes things just end.
Yeah.
And then they're just like,
relationships.
I mean,
You're right.
yeah.
yeah.
And it's kind of cool that it was anticlimactic, I think, because, like, it's building to this, and then they see each other, and then nothing happens.
Yeah.
Which is, like, unexpected. And, yeah, and the expectations versus reality, that part did remind me of 500 Days of Summer, where it's just, like, the whole thing of, like, oh, she's going to talk to him.
And
And then there's, like,
Are they though?
no.
it is so dangerous to compare the two, I think, because like one of them does it far better,
Yeah.
in my
I mean,
opinion.
That's fair. That's
and
fair.
first. And
And
like,
yeah.
and it's so creative.
They didn't
It's
show.
so dangerous to
Okay,
They didn't show
I
as
mean,
much as
500
Jerry's
Days of
Girls
Summer
Flying
is
Over
a better movie,
I haven't
but...
seen it.
Wow. We should almost. We should,
Well, I mean,
I was
sometimes
Luckily, we're
some-
going to.
Have you never
Did
seen
I
it
put
either?
that on the
I've
wheel?
seen it.
Okay.
I did put
Unless
that
you
on the
erased
It's
it.
one of my
I mean,
buddy's favorite
spoiler
movies. So
alert,
just like
it's
that's
on
all
the
brand for you.
wheel.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do
It's-
that one next.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my gosh, if we do that one
If it's
next,
a Mason
pretty
slice,
great.
it probably will be next. Typically based on how
Wait,
this.
did you
always
put it on the
red.
wheel too?
I think you did, right?
I definitely.
Oh, it won't land on you. So
We'll
that's,
fall apart before it lands on
that's
you.
fact.
We'll make sure
we
of that
will
anyways.
disband before
Yeah.
then. Anyways, any closing thoughts? Did this help anybody process any breakups? I'm not going to point fingers here, but I feel like some of you may have had a more recent attachment to this film for in-life reasons than others. Jill.
I don't know if there's much more to be said about it. I mean, I can't. What does happen at the very, very end? I can't remember. She ends up moving.
She wakes up.
She wakes up on the
She
fountain.
wakes up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they have their
Her
whole like
friends are there.
come
They
to
walk off
Jesus.
into the night band.
No,
with each
she
other.
vomits in the fountain and then they walk
Yes,
off.
but
Yes.
they walk off bantering with each other.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
And then I
like,
think the book story stuff that we were reading happens, and I guess we're the
yeah, because there's like a narration over it, or like
Yeah.
while she's typing or something.
Right.
Anyways.
Yeah, because they have an outro in the credits where she's like typing.
Oh yeah,
the
does
story
she
part.
like? I guess she is writing on the subway at some point.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know.
But isn't that before? She writes that before.
She writes that
into the
before,
sub-
but then there's a credit part where it's
Did I
as well.
miss the after credits scene or something?
Did
That
you-
doesn't even sound familiar.
Did you guys not see Captain America? So
It was actually
yeah,
You mean Samuel Jackson?
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hurting her for the
yeah. He's got
Yes.
an eye patch, and that's her boss.
Captain Hook. Yeah.
That's what
Captain.
she's moving across the country for.
God, let's watch Hook. What a good movie. Anyways, so do we want to get into Fat Thin Perfectly Fit, or do we have any closing thoughts?
Let's do that.
Okay. Mason said,
want
"Let's
to
move it
start?
along."
Yeah, Mason, let's
Tell us
go.
about
Mason.
your feelings, Mason.
I think this movie is pretty darn fit for its formula and like what it's trying to do. Because you did need the flashbacks. You did need those like, oh hey, I know you're having a good time, but let's let's show you this shower scene, because they were having sex all the time, evidently.
Yeah.
There was never a moment where he wasn't inside of her doing something.
Hell yeah.
Only good memories. You
Yeah.
know, only good things, and then let's bring it down a notch back to the story. I don't know. For what it was pretty fit, but, you know.
You know, actually, I do kind of like, I'll say it's fit. I'll say overall, pretty much I agree with Mason. I appreciate that the scenes typically tend to be more the rose-tinted glasses scenes that they reminisce on, because I think that's
You're
close
right.
to accurate. I think when you go through a breakup and you're feeling it, you're looking at the, like, oh, well, here's the moments where it's like where everything was great, or, you know, it's like the first touches, the first kisses, the first this, but then it's all immediately all the worst stuff, right? It's only the tops and bottoms.
So that's the thing. Whenever you had mentioned earlier, Ann, about the, like, it was one of you or Jill had mentioned.
All these
like-
women look the same in this podcast.
Well, I can't
yeah.
remember because I was getting some attitude from that side of the couch.
No, that's
I'm just
okay,
kidding.
yeah.
You guys were saying like, well, she was like reflecting back on how he wasn't a great guy. I was like, that didn't happen much at all.
Who
Like,
said that?
I don't think either one of us said
no,
that.
because I said that it wasn't
Right,
about the
right.
friendship, and I was like, it's supposed to be more about the
Oh, I
relationship.
mean, when I was saying that, I wasn't saying he wasn't a great guy. I was saying like him as a character was like we didn't get to know him very
Oh,
well.
Yeah.
it was flat.
Yeah.
Flat,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
just
Flat.
like it was about her perception of their relationship, not about him as a person or their
Okay.
relationship together. Actually,
My
But I
bad.
think the actor was really good
Oh, he
at
was
being
great.
like super charismatic and making you like interested in even in him in the relationship, because he like I think they had really good chemistry together
Yeah.
in their scenes.
It was- yeah.
I feel like y'all.
But the character
y'all
himself
missed
was
some
maybe not
parts of this
flat.
character, because there was definitely enough hints dropped at him being a like do nothing, not really knowing where he's going.
Yeah.
sort of person.
He was like directionless, but that doesn't make him a bad person.
I feel like
I don't really think that. Like, I think it's good for him that they broke up, because he needs a fire lit under him to actually figure out
To
what
do
he's doing
stuff.
with himself. You
In New
can't
York
ju-
City.
like your
Mhm.
existence can't just be like
I'm just gonna keep
being
being
her
this.
partner.
Right.
Mm.
Like
Mhm.
that's
You gotta
Well,
be
he
you gotta be a
seems
whole
to be
person.
the one that broke up with her. So.
well, it's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Probably
Good for
made
That's
him.
the
him
most whole
realize
person
that.
thing that he did the whole movie. You know what? Just happened to be at our expense.
Hey, that's not the only thing. He left as soon as he saw her at the party.
That's true.
That's
He said,
very smart.
"I'm no drama," and you know what? I believe that. He comes off as a no drama guy. He's like, I already said what I had to say about it. Like,
Yeah.
He's like, I'm out
Plus,
of
he
here.
was outnumbered 3-1.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
They-
let's not
they
say he was a
would've
big
beat
man
the-
about it.
Yeah.
Like, he was about to get his ass kicked.
That's true.
Her friends weren't with her when she saw him.
No, but if they were, they would have.
Yeah.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if she went over to there and started talking to him, and if they had seen that, then it would have turned into a whole different situation.
Exactly. They'd have been like, "You stupid bitch," you know, and that would have been the whole thing. Anyways, shape of the movie.
I mean, I guess it's fit. I don't really care.
I
He
love-
start something.
I love
like,
when he gets like
I
guess.
don't-
It's fit.
Something
I don't really
positive
know
from
what I
everybody on
would-
the couch.
Yeah.
I don't really know what I would say needs to be removed. Like, the only things that didn't serve the story were the only things that were somewhat entertaining to watch. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
eh.
I also think it's fit.
Wow.
I also think it's fit.
Wow. Look at us, just a bunch of fit people on a couch.
So fit.
I wish I'd said thin or fat to see if everyone else went with me too.
Oh yeah. Well, you're the trendsetter. So.
Yeah, well.
Score.
Guess we're going into scores. So.
Somebody got a question?
Yeah. Do we?
Wait, I have lore.
Oh, yeah,
oh
you're
my.
supposed to.
I have
way.
lore to share,
First
and it
time lore
involves
has been
brought to
Taylor
the table.
Swift. Oh, maybe I can come up with Taylor Swift lore for every movie. But this is for real though.
Okay.
If she ever
so-
endorsed this, I will be mad.
No,
Yeah.
listen.
He's already
So-
not voting.
Are
So
you gonna tweet I hate Taylor Swift?
Yeah, I'll do it right here, right now.
You're not that suicidal. You
I
won't.
value my life too much.
I do.
okay, so when the woman who was writing this movie, she was going through a breakup and she was listening to a lot of Taylor Swift. She was listening to the In 1989 album specifically. Anyway, so great taste in music she had. So then the movie comes out. Taylor Swift watches this movie and she writes the song Death by a Thousand Cuts inspired by this movie. And so the screenwriter was inspired by Taylor Swift, who was then in turn inspired by this movie to write a new
So
song.
you're saying that the goddess and muse Taylor Swift inspired herself to write herself a song?
Kind of, when you think about it like that.
I also
Yeah.
think the end credits of this podcast are going to be Death by a Thousand Cuts, right?
Yes, please.
We can only do about 3 seconds before.
There's
that.
no
Yeah,
credits,
that's
so you'll
true.
have like 1 second of the song and then it'll be over.
Yeah.
I've never heard
Can
of
it
this
just be
song
Lizzo's
in my
big,
life.
right?
Don't worry, you will.
Okay, we'll play it in a little
It's
while.
a great song. It has one of the best bridges Taylor Swift has written.
Okay.
What is it?
Yeah, what is
Better
it?
than
Also
Queen?
with which the
Death
song,
by a Thousand Cuts.
that means nothing to me.
I'll
See,
play it later.
Mason,
When-
take it from the
when
top.
we're
What's the
not,
score
like,
on
I
this?
like Taylor Swift, but like I don't know the names of her songs.
so I asked Jill long time ago, Jill, just give me a movie. Any movie, I'll watch it.
Having just
name it.
recently watched this movie, I gave him this one.
Uh-huh.
She had just seen this movie, evidently, at that time.
I think it was actually a year later.
Oh my god, Jill.
Jill,
And
that's
you
way
still,
more.
it still
I had
clung
also-
to you
Yeah.
somehow. Anyways, she gave me this movie to watch, and I remember watching it and coming away very just, Jill? You know?
Jill.
Questioning
That-
everything you knew
I
about
mean-
Jill's taste.
She also did Third Star.
You guys like Scream? Like no, you didn't.
You
I
like
wasn't a huge
Scream?
fan. I like,
Yeah,
he
but
did
I
The
mean,
Little
that's
Prince.
Scream. That's like niche picks.
Yeah.
Are the things where it's just like, yeah, that's like
And Scream's mainstream, so that's
like
hardly
A
fair.
Scanner Darkly is like my go-to niche pick.
Yeah. Phone Booth, I think, still originates as probably one of my early but still strong
Yeah.
niche picks.
But, Jill had mentioned this one to me, and I remember back then maybe giving it like a 6. It was very just, okay, and it was just out on Netflix, very,
Uh-huh.
very by the book stuff. I'm going to give it barely a 5.5. Just because it was something. Don't mind it on in the background. It's just, it's fine. And there's no offense, nothing special about it. I don't think that...
It's not a movie that's
it's
great.
not someone great.
It's not someone great. It's nothing great, actually. It's very...
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Someone
okay.
fine.
It is
I settled. This is an underline.
yeah, I don't know. I don't want to watch it again because I fear what score might come after. But yeah, it's that's all
You're
I've
just gonna go
got.
down half a point each time.
Yeah.
True. Doesn't have much further to go.
Oh right, your skill doesn't go below 5.
That's true.
Well, not true.
I think I gave something a 1 and a 4.
You
Let's-
gave something like
yeah.
a 1 or a 0.
Wow.
We definitely
Birdemic.
did.
Birdemic.
Birdemic.
One.
Hey, Birdemic
we
deserved
dropped it to 0 'cause we said
better.
it's on a
It
movie.
was terrible.
No, it was a 1 because I at least appreciated the fact that someone put
Oh,
a piece
no,
of
you're
crap
right.
together.
You're right.
But
You're
it was
right.
just a bunch of clips.
Yeah, it was.
It was one of the worst things I've ever seen, but it was so much fun to laugh at
No.
it.
Birdemic or someone great.
No, Birdemic.
So.
Annabeth gives her 5.
Ah, got her. I'm probably only a little bit higher than you on this one. I'm gonna
Do it, Lizzo.
I'm gonna float it at a 7.
Ooh.
Honestly, I didn't take my time with this one.
There we go.
No. I typically. I mean, I'll say this. It lands at a 7, and doesn't have any ambitions of trying to do better than that. Only because the overall plot. By the time I'm looking at the character's journey, I'm she just kind of stones her way through this thing, which is realistic. I mean, I'll give it that. But as a movie experience, it's kind of a little scratch my head at the end, where I'm so what was the whole point? If we don't have a moment of closure, and that is the point. I get it, but not either here nor there. Some of the character storylines felt really annoying. I remember thinking that our lesbian friend storyline and her fear of commitment and all that all just ends up being I don't want to turn old, and I'm okay, I get that's a very realistic fear, especially amongst women. But at the same time, I'm just kind of get used to it, bitch. I don't know, it's gonna happen. And maybe that's just me not caring too much about that character in the movie in specific. Maybe if it was Brittany Snow's character, I care a little bit more. She's bad in this movie. I like her in a good way, right? She hooks up with the douchebag guy. The douchebag guy turns out to have a heart of silver. Not total heart of gold, but he's kind of bro. I mean, yeah, you know what I am, but doesn't mean I'm a bad guy. You all kind of just gave me shit because you all were wanting after him, and I'm he's kind of right. They kind of just demonized him.
All they did was they gave him 2 lines of credibility at the very end, and he had to express it himself for you to even realize it. It just
Right.
felt so fake.
It did.
It
but
felt written in.
It does feel written in, but I will say, generally speaking, he is one of the characters that I feel kind of hits their tone, their notes really great, right?
I guess.
The actor on that one, I was just this guy's a fuckboy. But I'm but he knows what it is. So, you either just know that or you don't, If you're mad about it, then it's okay, you're mad at a fire hydrant for being red, bro. I don't know what you want from this guy. The side characters are just fun enough. The little bits of, girl power hangover is, honestly not a bad journey for me on this one. But overall, it doesn't do anything, spectacular or extra good. So... I'll just land it at out of 7 for those reasons. I didn't hate my time with it, but I'm probably not running back to say, hey, people should watch this, or I'm going to go back to rewatch this. Nathan.
Oh, buddy. Here we go.
How low can you go?
Yeah.
I'm somewhere between a 1 and a 2.
Oh.
Limbo bar.
Wow.
I did not like this movie. It felt like a big waste of time. There's only a couple of scenes that were like entertaining. I just don't relate to or like these characters, and I don't get why it was a whole ass movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm probably gonna give it a 1.5. I'll split the difference. I'll give it about half a point up.
I like it.
It is
Uh-huh.
not. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
At all.
Me either.
And
Dylan, same.
I don't know. I've already given my whole piece about just being completely unrelatable
Yeah.
for me. Which, like, do movies always have to be relatable?
No.
But this is supposed to be a pretty grounded, realistic sort of story, and it's just they're not my people.
That and
Yeah.
like it can be not relatable, but it can at least try to convince you of a lifestyle, right? By the
Yeah.
end of it, or it can like try to
Well,
bring you
so
along.
If it
and-
did convince me of this lifestyle, it convinced me that I do not like these kind of people.
It only
These people,
convinced
I
you
want
away
nothing
from
to
it.
do with their lifestyle,
Yeah.
and I want nothing grandizing or putting
Yeah.
on a pedestal in any way their lifestyle.
You don't want a RuPaul in your life
No.
that
No.
sells you marijuana and like
No, I mean,
joints
that
that are
guy
this
I'm
big
sure is
around.
entertaining, but I ain't into that
Yeah.
either.
That tracks. That's fair.
Yeah, he had a palace, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a whole
There was
palace.
pillows everywhere.
They're not going to be in your tribe post Mad Max
Oh
apocalypse.
no,
No.
they're not surviving at all. If anything, we're eating them.
Yeah.
They're the first ones to get barbecued.
Brittany Stowe, fair. Gina, I don't know, kind of thick around. Like,
Oh, yeah,
yeah, she probably gets
perfectly
the
fine. Yeah,
same.
I just didn't like her.
Yeah, edible though.
Yeah.
Annabeth.
Wow. Put into cannibalism real fast.
Who's the most edible girl on this guy? That's our question.
Okay.
We're eating the pets.
Yes.
Let's see. What score am I gonna give this movie?
Uh-oh. She didn't think about it before.
I did. I've thought a lot about it. I liked the movie better the first time I watched it,
Uh-oh,
but
it's
I
going
didn't
down.
dislike it this time. I liked it.
Breaks.
Although, to be fair, the first time I watched it was like with 3 of my best female friends.
Oh,
the
so
way
you're-
this movie should be
Y'all are
watched.
all, yeah!
We're all dancing
They're
to
doing- they're
Lizzo,
dancing.
you
Yeah, they're
know.
dancing to Lizzo. She's
Yeah.
dancing to Lizzo.
Yeah.
Men are shit. I would never do a podcast with 3 of them.
She said for 5 minutes.
Right.
Let's see.
We had to kick Price out
I
just to
also
make this
think
podcast
that,
happen.
like, I didn't find them as relatable. Well, I don't think I ever found them relatable, but
Who was the closest to relatable for you?
gosh, I don't know.
Don't you dare say Brittany Snow.
It's gotta be Brittany Snow.
Don't
It's
you dare.
It's
That-
definitely not Brittany Snow.
I was gonna say
Oh.
she was awful.
Yeah, she makes some poor decisions,
Although,
but she's
I don't
fun.
know. I feel like they were all relatable in a way. Like, she was relatable in that way that, like, she is really, like, structured and doesn't do bad things until she does. And, like, you know she wants to,
Yeah.
but then she's like, she can't let herself until she does.
Right.
So I found, that interesting about her character. And the girl who's afraid of commitment, I mean, that's relatable.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, but I still really liked this movie, and I think the best part of it was kind of the anticlimactic ending and the fact that there's not that closure between
Mhm.
the guy and the girl, but she wakes up and her friends
Lakeith
are there.
Sutherland?
Yeah,
Lakeith-
Lakeith Sutherland.
Lakeith?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7.5 because it's still fun. I feel like I have since seen better, like, girl hangover movies, but this is still a fun one. I just think it's more fun on the first watch because you just don't know what they're gonna do, and that makes it funnier. Like, I thought back and I was like, I remember this being funnier, but it was because you just don't know what they're up to next.
Maybe a foot podcast.
Why are you doing feet stuff?
My sock was
Okay,
inside out.
don't do
This
feet
one's
stuff.
right,
He
right?
wants the views.
It is. It's fine.
Anyway, I'm
Yeah.
giving it 7.5, which is good.
I also like this movie a lot more the first time I watched it. Again, because I was
Wow.
watching it with 3 of my best female friends.
Wow.
I
Girl
also
power now.
was forced to watch it against my will, which made my expectations really low, and it far exceeded them.
Oh.
So, like, that also upped its score in the beginning. They aren't relatable in their lifestyle at all,
No.
but they're relatable in that they were late 20s girls figuring out their careers not knowing what to do with their lives
Straight
and just hanging
vibing.
out with each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
So that was relatable.
realistic.
Which
yeah.
which one did you find the most relatable though?
None of them.
None of them.
You and Nathan are a lot alike.
Yeah. To the woods, Jill
To
says.
the woods with Jill.
They're
Yeah.
relatable in concept, not in any reality.
Mm.
Yeah, like I would not hang out with these people. Like
I-
they would not be my friends.
I
I
But
agree
disagree.
with Nathan in that I would also, and you, that I wouldn't hang out with these people.
They seem fun. I'm on the other end of it. If they take me to that RuPaul drug palace, I'm here for it.
I want to go to that guy's little
Like, I would hang out with
Yeah,
people.
right?
That would be it.
You would hang out with
That's
RuPaul.
I'm
the
hanging
only
out with
person in this
we're
story
hanging
that
out
I would hang
officially with
hanging out with that guy.
Hoverboard guy?
Yeah.
He has like a go-kart in his apartment.
Yeah,
for
that
some
dude
reason.
seems legit. Anyway,
Yeah.
so.
But I liked their friendship. I liked them hanging out with each other. I liked the concept of like, you know, remembering different moments in your relationship as you see, like, if you're physically in the thing. They might be tropey or whatever, but I liked it.
Mm.
And I liked the ending of it not having the closure, because you might not have the closure that you want, but your life's going to go on anyway. So I liked the concept a lot. So I would actually put this movie at a 7.
A 7.
Yeah.
Man, I was giving
The
that
difference.
extra 0.5
Yeah.
for solidarity with you, Jill.
Yeah, I figured, but
I was
you
like,
can-
I gotta be here for Jill.
You can bump it down to a 7. It's okay.
You know what was kind of
Okay,
funny?
it was more of a 7 than a 7.5.
Yeah.
You're right. Take my 0.5 off too.
I can do it.
So it's 3
Nope.
Take it
sevens.
off.
3 7.
Okay.
All right.
Well, you gotta give the girl what she wants.
Uh-huh.
You know, in like That's So Raven, whenever she was about to have a vision, she just like stared off into the camera, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this bitch did. Whenever she was
Yeah.
about to have a highlight,
Yeah.
or like a flashback,
She does,
she
doesn't
was
she?
just
have-
like
She had the That's So Raven stare.
you know,
not into the camera, but like just off a little bit.
It
Yeah.
was really funny in the was she in the convenience store when she lived?
Yes.
Yeah.
That freaking
Yes,
song
she
she started
The-
singing along.
Yeah.
Okay, another
and
moment.
then you just hear
of, like,
"That's so Raven."
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
There's a-
Are you good to go? Is that, no, that's me.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
are we spinning?
I think we're spinning.
Jill
Yeah,
did. Wait,
Wait, what is that?
Which way is the arrow
What
going,
is
Jill?
that?
I didn't know I had to do an
I
arrow.
think Nathan
Yeah.
did it, but you have to
You have to
figure
figure out.
I want it to point to the blue.
Red or
just
blue?
to be confusing.
Alright,
Just,
fair
okay,
enough.
so it goes to the blue, and then it goes back up to there, and then it goes back.
Yeah,
down.
and it goes all the way to
No, it goes all the way to Nathan's.
I hope it lands on one of mine.
I hope it does too.
Because they would both make
I would
sense
love
to
it
come
if it-
right after this
Yeah, I
movie.
need it to
Jill.
land on that one.
Spin.
I will
Spin.
die on a hill.
Yeah.
Oh, just-
4-player game.
Ah!
That's not even a movie.
Strikes again.
You thought it was going to be a movie, and we're just playing games, and one
Well,
of you is
there-
getting
Yeah,
canceled.
somebody's getting kicked off.
Yeah.
Then. Do we
Well-
not want to just re-roll?
Yeah, let's re-roll it. We can re-roll
Because
it.
we gotta watch movies.
Yeah, we've got.
Otherwise
It's
we're
been
gonna
like
be-
it's
We
been.
gotta watch movies.
Sorry,
That was a
sorry,
nice
game podcast.
Group
You don't wanna hang out with
consensus.
games.
If it hits
Oh,
it again,
no,
we
it-
have to do it.
Oh,
What is
man, it was one
Oh,
away.
damn it, it's my movie again.
Oh
Okay.
no!
I was actually going to change it to something else.
Wait.
Overshadowed orphan movie. Oh, is this the Batman?
Is it Les Mis?
I like all the options.
These are great guesses.
Nathan?
What's your guess?
Overshadowed orphan movie.
What's the
Annie?
Brightburn? Is that the one with the
The Superman.
Oh,
not
so
Superman?
the evil Superman baby
Yeah.
kid? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one. But
None of you are right.
that's
Do
fucked
you
up.
know what it is, right?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
It's the original Rescuers.
The Rescuers!
Okay.
Ah.
Not Down Under, but the
Yeah.
first one.
I'm gonna watch that.
I always forget that
I
the
don't know what the fucking rescuers are.
Yeah, you
It's
The
a shitty
Rescuers, the one with the mice!
the mice one, bro.
Oh, didn't I play as that villain?
You
Yeah.
should.
No.
Yeah. No.
No,
You're,
that was
thinking-
No, you're
Brad
thinking
again.
of, you're
You're
thinking
From
of
the
of
Great
Great
Mouse
Mouse
Detective.
your mouse detective.
Get your
But you-
mice
Yeah.
straight!
But you should watch.
You know Stuart
Rescuers
Little?
Down Under, really.
The
Yeah.
Down Under one too?
Yeah.
Or
It is.
just
It's the better movie.
Yeah,
Is it?
Rescuers Down
Under
Under
is
is
a better.
better.
Movie.
God.
But I wanted to pick the original because it's also really good and it's overshadowed because
Okay.
Down Under's so good.
Oh.
So you
This
should
is kind of
watch
like
both
home.
of
This is
them.
kind of like Home Alone 1 and 2,
Mason,
or
you
2
have
is
homework to watch
notably
2
better.
movies. You have
Yeah.
to watch both.
Well, if we wait
Rescuers.
3 weeks again, I'll
That's
have all
true.
the time in the world.
He might do it.
I would have watched 4 more Someone Greats if there were sequels.
You could have found someone great
Someone
by the
great,
time.
someone else great,
Yeah.
Someone probably
Someone
better than
greater.
someone
that.
kind of okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The prequel. Someone. Just yeah.
someone.
Just someone.
Anybody? Anybody okay?
See that it's actually like as the years go on for the character.
Oh,
So like
Like
in their
Gilmore
late
Girls thing?
40s, the movie's just called Someone.
Yeah.
Just
Someone without kids.
someone they settled
Yeah.
with.
Someone without kids.
Yes.
No shot.
No shot. In your 40s, good luck. They are batshit insane. That's the facts. Or they're gonna murder you.
Yeah, if they haven't had kids at that point,
Yeah.
you should be worried.
God forbid I ever.
The women?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow. Anyways, that's our show. Let us know what you think about Roe v. Wade in the comments below. We got sponsored by. Can you show us?
No, see it?
Sponsored by Dutch Brothers, the sweatiest cups you can possibly find. They'll drip right. Oh yeah. Oh, it's so cold. Ew. If you like the content we're doing, as always, let us know in the comments below what you think. Was there a character that you related most with, and if so, who? Also, which one of us do you think would be the? Oh gosh, I don't want to pick a character. The
Brittany Snow of the group.
The Brittany Snow of the group. Yeah, I want to know
Annabelle.
who's the one
You
who's.
think it's me?
It's
Yeah.
Annabelle.
It might
Which
be
one
me.
of us is
Spoiler.
the first girl on the subway?
That's me. I will talk to a stranger for a
Wait,
while.
wait,
and
the
be
girl on the subway who's like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just walked away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm invested until I'm not. Anyways, make sure to subscribe on that channel because we hit that 69 mark. We're trying to get to that 420 mark because we're adults. And make sure to give it a big thumbs up because, we just keep putting out content for you. And, maybe you're on lunch break, you're just chilling. You're just kind of like, man, I really just need some strangers to talk to me about a movie I just happened to watch.
You're just putting some Legos together.
Yeah,
Just some ambient noise in the background.
putting some... Fuck.
I see you, Chris.
Yeah, Chris. Nice try, Chris. Big Chris. Why does he just not eat his enemies? And
While he's watching
Well, that's why he's in
Yes.
the tribe.
that's true. Yeah, he's gonna be the bodyguard of the tribe. I'm not gonna fight him for that. Make sure to hit the bell. And until next time, guys, we will catch you with The Rescuers, not Down Under. Bye.
Bye.